Welcome everybody to Laughter Talks. I'm so excited. We have a guest who's been here before, Jodie Carn. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to see you. Now, in case now, I do like to reintroduce you because sometimes people don't get to see the show. So let me do that right now.
Okay.
Now we're welcoming back actress, TV show host Jodie Carn. And the last time you were on the show, you delighted us with many stories of your life growing up in California. You've been in the industry for a while. You hosted your own show, and you just had. I'm delighted. You know, I watched it again and I got excited all over again. You just delighted us with so many stories and celebrities that you met during your journey, like Fred Astaire and Sammy Davis Jr. And my favorite, the great story of spending time by the pool with Mick Jagger.
Of course.
Yeah, that was amazing. Now, we didn't get too much time to talk about your mom on that show, but you did talk briefly about your mom, Dona Massin, who is well known and respected as a choreographer in Hollywood. And that's what I invited you back. I really wanted to know more about your mom. She was so interesting and pivotal in your life, into your direction of being so entrenched in the Hollywood industry.
Yes.
So I first of all, welcome back. Thank you for being here. And what I'd like to do is—
thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Now, Jodie, what I'd like to do is share us a little bit about your history briefly and introduce us to your mom. Let us be introduced properly to your mom, Dona Massin.
Well, of course, I was born and raised in California, Santa Monica, and then Malibu. And my mother was born in Quebec, Canada, and also Winnipeg, I believe, then went to Quebec. And when she was 8 years old, they brought her here to California. She couldn't speak a word of English. She was French. And so she lived here from the time she was on. And she started being in show business by the time she was 10 years old. They would have her sing actually in bars. They would take her out when she was a child and she'd go up and sing. They would take her right back to the house and put her to bed. So, yeah, I mean, and so then when she was about 10 or 11, my grandmother, who was an opera singer, moved to Italy. So my mother stayed with her aunt, and her aunt wanted to put her in dancing class. And they didn't even charge her because my mother could just dance. And that's where she met Judy's sisters and Judy. And then it takes off from there. And then she got her contract at MGM when she was 14.
Wow.
She lied. She said she was 18, but it was 14. She only went to school until junior high school.
And she had one of those faces that she could passport. And that's just really amazing. So you were young when you got interested in it.
Yes.
But now, so you said she worked with so many celebrities. Do you remember how old you were, how young you were when you first realized what your mom did in the industry? You made the connection, like she wasn't just mom.
Yeah, I probably knew about 10 years old. My mother, everybody else told me about my mother. And my mother was kind of subdued. And she wasn't one that said, oh, I did this, I did that. But I started learning, you know. And of course, then I became the ham and wanted to meet everybody.
Yeah, you said you used to sing for everybody.
Yes. And then she put me in dance class. And I also took singing, which I can't do. But, you know, because I was interested in the business. But she was in it continually. She never stopped from the time she was about 8, 10 years old until she was 30. Then she retired.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did your mom do after she retired?
Became a wife and mother.
Okay. And she never went back to do anything, or no?
Well, she did interviews, you know, like on TV, you know, when they had things about Judy Garland or stars, she did Hollywood stories. And that was usually done in the house. They'd come in with a camera crew.
Yeah. Did she ever choreograph any of her routines at home? Do you remember her doing that?
No, I don't, but she would choreograph stuff for me when I was taking dance lessons and things like that. But she did a lot of choreography. As I said, the best I think she ever did was with Eleanor Powell and Fred Astaire. That was one of
Yeah.
the things I think she ever did. They were just two of them are dancing and they're going back and forth. That's my favorite.
Oh, your stories about Fred Astaire, my God, that's so exciting. Now, I
Yeah.
wonder, I notice in back of you, I see an array of lovely photographs and I see your mom's picture up there. Can you tell us a little bit what those pictures are? They look
Those are
amazing.
all my mother. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah, you got my mother in all the pictures. And those are all the films that she did.
Wow.
And right here, I don't know if you can see at the side, those are Eleanor Powell.
Yeah. And you said they were best friends.
Oh, they were best friends until Eleanor Powell. I mean, my mom got flowers, as you know, after Eleanor Powell died.
Yeah, that was so sad. That was so sad,
Yes.
but bittersweet because it
Yes.
was such a special thing. Now,
Yes.
I know you told us all those good stories, but you did not have time to tell us all of them. So what I'm going to do is what I'd like to do, I wrote down some names here and I'm going to call out these names. And I would like, this is like a game.
Okay.
Like you, I think you're a lady who loves games. Now, these are some of my favorites from back in the day. So I'm going to say the name and you tell me if you have any stories about them, okay? Vincent Price,
Okay. No.
Shirley Temple.
Oh, yes. When my mother was at MGM,
Oh,
little Shirley, when she was little. And yes, my mom worked with her and she said she was adorable and so professional as a child.
wow.
Yeah.
I remember watching her movie. She really was. She looked like a very responsible little girl. She was carrying the whole show.
Yes. And you know the thing where she's going up and down the steps with the that black dancer? My
Yes,
my mom worked on that.
really.
Yeah.
Sounds like she worked on all those memorable dancing scenes we all know and love. Because you
Yes.
talk about the Wizard of Oz and everything. And so, oh my goodness. Okay, now, oh, here's one of my favorites, Betty Davis.
Oh yes. Oh yes. My mom, I don't she think she worked with her on a film because Betty was an actress, you know, but they used to have lunch together because they were on the lawn. And yes, my mom said she was a character. She really liked her.
I like that term character because
Character.
I did get the impression that Betty Davis could really run you through it if she wanted to.
Yes. And my mom said she told it like it was. She was tough.
Yeah, she was ahead of
And,
her
I,
time.
and she said to me, Betty Davis didn't have to go in the corner and get in the mood. She wasn't a method actress. She could just do it right away.
Wow, I believe that.
Yeah.
So on the other side of that, the next name, I think you can guess who I'm going to ask about next. Joan
Joan Crawford.
Crawford. Yeah.
Yes, my mother, I don't know how well she knew her, but she did work with her or knew her on the studio lot.
Did she say anything about her?
She said she was professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I understand. And can you shed any light on it? Is it really true that Betty Davis and Joan Crawford did not like each other?
I think they had a bit of a thing going back and forth.
Like
Yes.
a rivalry, a competition?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because they were both pretty big stars. So I guess they just didn't. Well, one of my favorite movies of those two together is, oh my God, what is that one where Betty Davis is at? Oh, Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte,
Yes.
where she's out of her mind and she's the sister. That
Uh-huh.
they really, they both did a tremendous job in that movie.
Oh, fabulous. Yes.
And I think their natural animosity towards each other probably helped them play it so well because it was amazing.
Yes.
Okay, Gary Grant.
Yes. And I have a story about Cary Grant.
Oh, good. Tell me. We want to
Okay.
know.
I was in Las Vegas with my mother and we were ready to go see a show. This was the Dunes Hotel. And I told my mother, I'll just meet you down in the casino. And so I went down there and I was playing the slot machines and I was fairly dressed up. So this older man came over to me and started talking to me. And he said, so what are you doing tonight? And, so like, what do you charge? And Cary Grant came over and he said, are you hassling this young woman?
Oh,
He told him to leave. And I looked up and I said, "Oh my God, you're Cary Grant." He said, "Yes." And he thought you were a hooker. So I saved you.
Wow. So he was a real gentleman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
As soon as you said, how much do you charge? I think I kind of got the
You
drift.
kind of got
So,
that.
so wasn't that wonderful that he was such a
Oh,
gentleman?
yes. And I told him, I said, "Thank you so much for being such a gentleman." But I was in awe, you know.
Was he as handsome as we think he was?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
my
really was.
goodness. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, now Clark Gable.
Yes. Yes. My mother worked with well, she didn't work with him when she was doing The Wizard of Oz. He was right across to another stage, and he used to come in every day on The Wizard of Oz, every single day to sit there and watch the sets. And my mother used to watch with him.
Oh, how
Yes.
wonderful. Oh, God, what a joyful
Yes.
life your mom had. Oh, my
And the
goodness.
interesting thing is, my girlfriend and her husband bought the Clark Gable home in Mandeville Canyon some years ago.
And I know where that
So
is.
yeah.
I used to help a woman that lived up on Mandeville Canyon Road.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful up
Yeah,
there.
it's beautiful.
Oh, I can imagine, because he was so darn handsome. Boy, can I imagine being there and Clark Gable walks in the door. I'd probably really literally faint, and that would be it.
And my mother said Clark Gable was as nice as could be every day. And when there was a break in, what he was doing, he'd come and sit next to my mom and talk to her and things like that. And, yeah, she really liked him.
Wow, that's nice. That's nice to hear. Robert Taylor,
No, she never mentioned him.
Robert Mitchum,
Yes, yes, yes. She would see him on, yeah, she said he was a character.
another character.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was
she
very
liked him.
sexy though. And
Yes,
my favorite role of Robert Mitchum was Cape Fear.
that was excellent.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, it really was. He was a tremendous bad guy in that. Uh,
Oh,
Henry Fonda.
yes. I don't know if she worked with him, but she knew him through the studio. He might have been on another stage, but yes, she knew him, liked him, very nice.
Okay. Frank Sinatra.
Well,
Did I strike gold?
yeah, that's a good one. There was a movie with him and Gene Kelly, and my mother choreographed it. And she really, yeah, she choreographed that. Something about sailor, something. I can't
I
really.
remember the movie. I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name, but yeah.
So later in life, I'm at Scandia's restaurant, which is in Hollywood, on the Sunset Strip. So my mom and dad and me are having dinner. In comes Frank Sinatra, goes to our table and says, "Donna, how have you been?"
Oh my God. Did you
And
just
yeah,
swoon? Did you swoon?
oh yeah, my mom stood up. They gave each other a hug, and my mom introduced me and introduced my father. Yes.
Wow. Oh, that is really exciting. Oh, okay. Here's an unusual one. Bella Lugosi.
Nope, she never mentioned him. No.
Well, I guess he wouldn't be dancing. I mean, I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember seeing a Dracula movie where Bella Lugosi was dancing, but I had to
Yeah.
throw him in. Okay. Are there any other celebrities that had an impact on you?
Well, this is an interesting one. I was thinking of it. I totally had forgotten because I did, Blue Hawaii with Elvis.
Yes.
But when I went and saw the new Elvis film, which by the way is fantastic,
I was going to ask you about that. Oh my God, I love it.
it was wonderful. I had totally forgot that I was going to Hollywood Professional School at the time, and I went to school from 8:45 to 12:45. Now, my dad was selling real estate here, and there was a guy that came around here on a motorcycle, which was Elvis. So my dad started talking to him, brought him in the house, and said, "I want you to wait for my daughter when she gets out of school." Well, instead of going home, I went out to lunch with some friends and I missed Elvis. He was sitting in this living room for 2 hours with my mom and dad. Oh, I could kill myself.
Oh, that hurt my heart hearing that for you because,
Yeah,
but
because that's where, when I did Blue Hawaii, I was what, 13, and I was dancing. You don't get to know someone. When someone's sitting on the couch for two
yeah.
hours talking,
Oh,
oh,
did they take a picture of him while he was there?
no, and I wish they would have.
Yeah, back then that wasn't really
Thank
what we were doing. Like now with the phones, everybody's taking selfies. And that reminds me, I wanted to ask you this question. Um, because you do come from it as a background, what are the changes in the industry you see that make you sad, that have changed, and some changes you've seen that you like?
Okay. What I don't like about the industry today, Zoom, it's not in person. I don't like that. Or they'll tell you you have to read a script and send it in. I liked it when it was intimate and you had an audition, you're face to face with the director. It's not like that anymore. That I don't like. And I think a lot of actors don't like it. Yeah, I mean, I would like to see some better films. You know, I mean, the best film I've seen so far is Elvis.
Yeah, I agree. I was really blown away by that. Did you learn anything about Elvis when you saw the movie that you didn't know? I did, about the relationship with him and Parker. I didn't know any of that.
No, I didn't know. I didn't. I After seeing the film, I do not like Parker. I mean, that I didn't like that at all. He didn't. All he cared about was making money. I
Yeah.
mean, obvious. Remember when he was laying on the floor and they give him a needle? I mean, that was horrible.
Um, that
Yeah,
criminal. I mean, that's
it's
just
criminal, and he just worked him so hard. And I don't blame Elvis for any of his problems.
Yeah. And Tom Hanks did such a good
Ah,
job. He really,
brilliant.
everybody's, this thing is saying, I watched Austin Butler on an interview, and he said everybody was mad at him because they said he made us hate Tom Hanks.
Well, that's a great actor for you.
Yeah, and that's a compliment because Tom Hanks really did
Yes.
his job, and that's amazing.
He
So
really did.
amazing. Now,
Yes.
again, before we go, what is advice, seeing all the things that are going on, that you would give to younger people who want to get in the industry?
Well, they better realize they better study, study, study. It's very good to study acting, even though you have to put out your money. But when you go into an interview and you just sit there and say, I want to be an actor, they want to know, well, what have you done? Even if you want to be an actor, get into little theater, little things like that. Those are pluses, and learn as much as you can about the craft. So many young people say, I want to be an actor, I want to be this, I want to be that, and it doesn't work. You got to know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a
like
tough
that.
business. Yes. And
It's
I would tell a young person, I hope you have it really in you, or you want it more than anything, or else don't bother, and be able to take rejection.
Uh, that is a very good point, because we all have to deal with that. And if you're not of tough skin, don't bother.
Don't bother.
Yeah,
Don't bother.
it reminds me of that old saying. It's like a complete success, an overnight success after 20 or 25 years of work preceding it. Nobody sees that.
Nobody sees that.
Exactly. That's the way it works. Well, Jodie, I thank you so much for being with us today. This has been,
God, it went fast.
yeah,
Go so
I know.
fast.
Wonderful catching up.
You owe me something. You owe me a lunch. You're supposed to come visit me, and we're supposed to go to Duke's.
Okay, we're going to do that. I'll send you an email. We'll pick a date. I do apologize. I've been going crazy with all, but
That sounds great.
we'll pick a date and we'll meet
No,
there.
I understand that, sure.
No, but I'll send you an email. I'm going to
That'd
do it
be
as soon
great.
as I'm done with this. I love you. Thank you, Jodie.
Okay.
Take care of you, and I'll see you soon.
And thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye, everybody. Bye, Jodie.
You too.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Okay.